welcome back to another pick a card reading. I hope you all are doing great. Thank you for joining me. So today's reading is, it was actually a suggestion. I can't remember who suggested it, I'm really sorry, but it was actually a suggestion of what are your misconceptions about them. Thank you for the suggestion, and that is today's reading. Okay, so what are your misconceptions about the person on your mind? All right, and we have 3 groups for you to choose from: group 1, 2, and 3. If you want to pause the video so that you can take more time to choose, feel free, but I shall see you all in your readings. Hey, if you've chosen the first group, then this reading is for you. I'll start off with your tarot cards. So the person on your mind, what misconceptions do you have about them? All right, so we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and we also have the Knight of Pentacles in the upright position. Okay, so please only take what resonates, but it feels like you could be under the misconception that this person doesn't feel anything for you at the moment, or this could have been referring to the past, when in fact they do have romantic feelings for you, depending on who you're asking about. Or they could have, let me see. You know, it definitely feels like it's referring to romantic feelings. So if you're asking about someone that's like a non-romantic connection, then maybe that message isn't for you per se. But yeah, so some of you could be under the impression that they don't have romantic feelings for someone else, which could be false, unfortunately. It feels like their romantic interests are in a few different places right now. It feels like they're more so in the energy of being indecisive and not serious, and they're kind of coming across as keeping their options open a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, you could also have the misconception that they are confident and not insecure, when in fact they could be insecure. For some of you, it could be the opposite, and you kind of feel like they're not confident and they're not secure when they could be confident and secure, you know? So it just depends on how you perceive them. So yeah, you could also have the misconception that they are blocked in life, but it seems that they are not, and they are, you know, just living their life. You could also be under the impression that they have a victim mentality. They may have had a victim mentality in the past, but it feels like now they have managed to grow past it. You know, it feels like they're not in this mindset anymore. So yeah, you may think of this person as kind, when in reality they could be very unkind at times. For some of you, I'm hearing like they could have been kind to you, but how did they treat other people around you both, you know? Or how did they treat their ex, for example? So yeah. So yeah, you could also have the impression that they were a bit of a dreamer, like to fantasize, when the truth is they prefer to take action. You could have also had the misconception that they were immature, but they could be a bit smarter than you realize, or smarter than they kind of let on. Like they could be more clued up as well than you may realize. So some of you here, you could have felt that this person was messy, disorganized, or didn't have a plan. It may look like that actually from the outside looking in, but it seems that they've created a solid foundation for themselves, and they are committed to a certain path that they have. Yeah, it seems like they could be doing well. They could have made some, changes that's, kind of impacted their life in a positive way. Maybe, I don't know, it depends if this person's a part of your past or not. But yeah, it does feel like they have kind of let something go and they're kind of more committed to their work, their goals, maybe mastering something as well. So yeah, for some of you here, you could also have the misconception that they are emotionally unavailable. This could actually be true to a certain degree, but this does feel like it's more so directed towards romantic relationships or possible commitments. And please only take this if it resonates. But some of you here could have the misconception that they create bad luck, bad karma for other people. This may not be true because they seem quite invested in this other person or other people. For others, it may look like that because they want to be independent or self focused. That sounds a bit cryptic to me, so please only take that if you know what it means. But yeah. So some of you here could also have the misconception that maybe that they don't have control over themselves, their path, goals, or ambitions, but it feels like they are very much in control, aware, or focused. So you could also have the belief that they are loyal to someone else, but it feels like they are loyal to this person, but their loyalty to this person is distance. Like there's distance between that. It's like say for example you say to someone, I'm gonna love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance. Like it could be that type of energy in terms of this other person. Mm. So yeah, some of you here could have the misconception that they aren't hardworking. This could be in general or at the moment. It feels like they are, but it could look different to other people's version of what hardworking looks like, or whatever approach they are taking. It seems like it's working for them. It may be, with the Knight of Pentacles, it may be slow and steady, but it feels like whatever they're doing, that it could be working for them. So yeah, some of you could also have the misconception that they are stubborn, down to earth, which could be true to a certain degree, but it feels like they're more emotional as well. So yeah, some of you could also have the impression that this person is waiting for you. I mean, for some of you, it could be in the back of their head. It doesn't feel like it's a priority. It feels like they aren't really focused on that at the moment. So yeah, some of you could also believe that they're not making their dreams, their goals, financial security a priority. They are, but it just feels more low key, or they're kind of just being low key about it. And some of you here could have the misconception that they are stuck up or conservative in a way, maybe materialistic. For some of you, it could be true to a certain degree, again, but it doesn't feel like it's something they want to force onto other people? Do you have anything else from these cards? Okay. So what misconceptions do you have about them? So we have here increased support. Your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened a doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. I'll put this here just in case you want to read it yourself. If you can even see that, I don't know. Anyways, so what misconceptions do you have? So some of you here could be under the misconception that they have a lot of support. when in fact they don't really have that support, or they don't really feel supported, or they don't kind of utilize the support system that they may have. For some of you, you could have the misconception that they're surrounded by people. With the Hermit card coming out to clarify, maybe they're not surrounded by people. Wait, hold on. Five of Swords came out there. They could be undergoing some type of conflict, so that could be a reason for them kind of keeping to themselves and kind of feeling unsupported or not having much support in their lives or their goals, you know? Do you have more from this card? So for some of you, you're also under the misconception that they have or that they don't have a lot of opportunities. It feels like they do, Four of Wands, or it's just not as limited as, you know, you may see it or other people may see it. Anyways, okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, so we have here departed loved ones. You are loved more than you'll ever know. So please only take this if it resonates, but some of you could have the misconception that this person has a lot of love, has a lot of support. But with the Eight of Swords coming out to clarify, it feels like they don't have as much support as it may seem. For some of you, it's like the people who would have supported them or the people that do support them could be passed away. Okay, so please only take that if it resonates. So we also have deal with the unexpected, treat the unforeseen as a divine offering. Okay. So yeah, some of you here could kind of perceive this person or have the misconception that this person is going through some big, unfortunate, maybe with the Wheel of Fortune being there in reverse, unexpected changes. And it feels like, you know, they could be going through certain changes with that Death card coming through, but it may not be chaotic. It may not be, you know, kind of throwing them off, if that makes any sense. Or they're just coping very well with certain changes that are occurring in their life. Do you have more from this card? Okay. So we also have here complex. So yeah, some of you here could have the misconception that they complicate other people's life, or that they are maybe intentionally trying to complicate your life perhaps, or someone else's life. It feels like they're more so focused on them. Let me see what the actual thing is. 1 second. So what is the truth then? It just doesn't feel like their intention. For some of you, they could kind of just feel like they're being honest, but it's not their intention to complicate anything. So we have predictable right next to the Knight of Pentacles. Funny. One second. Okay, so they're coming up as, so some of you here could have the misconception that they're predictable. Let me see. Yeah. For some of you, maybe boring. But the truth could be that they're kind of just invested in other things right now. Or maybe they're trying to avoid a conflict. So they're trying to seem predictable. But please only take that if it makes sense. Okay, so we have here timid. So yeah, some of you here could be under the misconception that they're timid. What is the truth of that then? For some of you, that may not be the truth, but they could just be, I don't know if easygoing is the right word, or just like not fussed. One second. For some of you, it could be that they just don't want to control, whether that be other people or controlling an outcome, but it could come across as them being timid. And finally, yeah, non-competitive. Yeah, that's the type of energy that was getting. So yeah, you could have the misconception that they're not competitive. It feels like they are, clarified by the Nine of Pentacles, but it could be more so self-focused. Like, I'm not in competition with other people, but I'm in competition with myself. Maybe I keep it to myself. I'm on my own journey. So, but yeah. For some of you, they may just not be really overt. Like, a lot of Pentacles card has come out as well to clarify certain messages for this person. So they could just be, again, the Hermit, Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles at the bottom. They could just be in a more reserved type of energy. Maybe keeping certain things to themselves. For some of you, they may not be competitive in, in that kind of way. But it feels like they are competitive in other ways, maybe with themselves. But anyways, that is all I have for this group. I do hope it could be helpful. I hope it could resonate and make sense. But I'm wishing you guys all the best, okay? Please take care of yourselves. Bye. Hi, so you've chosen the second group. So this reading is for you, the person on your mind. What misconceptions do you have about them? Okay, let's start off with your tarot cards. All right. Okay. All right. So we have the Eight of Wands in reverse, Three of Wands in reverse, and also the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, what is this trying to say? Okay, please only take what resonates because the groups today seem kind of specific, okay? So yeah, some of you here could be under the impression that they are not behaving impulsively. This could be with someone else. It could be with you. I do feel this more for someone else though. When the truth is that they are being impulsive and they don't have much of a plan. For some, this could be someone in their family. They could be more so going with the flow. This could be working for them though. Yeah, so it feels like you could have the misconception that they are not moving fast with someone, or they aren't creating momentum when in fact they are. But this could be more so in terms of a romantic situation, so please only take that if it makes sense. So yeah, some of you here could be under the impression that they aren't making progress. It feels like they are, but it could be slow, it could be steady. So yeah, you could be under the misconception that they... Okay, please only take this if it makes sense, but you could be under the misconception that you can delay them. But that message seems kind of specific, so please only take that if it makes sense. It feels like some of you could think there is a specific person in this person's life that they are lacking control over, when in reality it seems to be under control. Yeah, so you could have the impression that they are not taking action towards a commitment towards someone else, maybe someone you thought they were walking away from, but they are actually working on starting over with this person. And it seems like they're very dedicated towards this person as well. So yeah, you could be under the impression that they plan, that maybe that a plan of theirs was cancelled or delayed, but it seems like they're feeling quite hopeful. You could also be under the misconception that they aren't utilizing and making the most of their talents or a talent they have. And you know what? Some of you here could actually be right about that, but it does feel like there is good reason, like they're focused on other things right now. You could have the misconception that they failed. This could be in regards to seeing the truth. Maybe someone being taken off a pedestal or losing support. It feels like they see this, but that seems, that again, that seems a bit specific, so please only take that if it makes sense. So yeah, you could be under the misconception, under the impression that they are stalled in life. They aren't. For some of you here, you could have the misconception that there are reasons they didn't or can't travel to you. For some of you, they can't travel to you, but maybe not for the reasons they said. For some of you, maybe this is offering you some type of support or help. It feels like, let me see. Like if they turned you down when you asked them for help or support. For some of you, they could have lied about their reasonings, and you could have a misconception around that. For some of you, it could be that they saw hopefulness in another direction, so they preferred and decided to kind of focus on that instead. So some of you here are under the misconception that you should have done something differently when it comes to them. And please only take this if it resonates, but for some of you, maybe you thought that you should have been dishonest, maybe not tell the whole truth, not given clarity, or the opposite, and kind of gave them clarity or given them more honesty. It feels like they still would have disappointed you, or the situation may still have turned out to be disappointing, or they still would have chosen another direction. So yeah, some of you are under the misconception that you could have had a long distance relationship with this person, but it still would have had the same outcome. They would have been, for some of you, please only take this if it resonates, but they would have been maybe controlling or treated you selfishly. So yeah, some of you could feel that they had confidence in you. They did, and it feels like they do actually. But for some of you, it could have been shallow, or it could have been short lasting, or it could have turned out to be short lasting. So yeah, some of you here could have had the misconception that they needed your money, or they needed a handout in general. or was maybe even using you for your money. It doesn't feel like they were. It does feel like there's something else going on there, like, maybe another reasoning or whatnot, but it does feel like, they weren't trying to use you for your money. So yeah, you could also be under the impression that they lack financial control. It seems like they have a decent grip on their spending or their finances right now. Some of you could also have the misconception that they are poor, that they are maybe struggling financially. It feels like they're not. They just prefer to hide it, is what I'm hearing. Why? It feels like some people have proven themselves to be vultures to a carcass when it comes to this person's money, when it comes to their possessions, or, what they can offer, maybe even their generosity. But that doesn't really feel directed towards you, if I'm being honest. It feels like people in their past, whether it be family, ex-partners. So yeah, for some, you have the impression that they aren't invested in you, which might be true to some degree, but not for the reasons you may think. So you may also feel like you can't move forward with this person, and it feels like you can, but you may need to change your approach, but please only take that if it makes sense. So, do you have more from these cards? Okay. These groups seem really specific today, so please only take the messages if it makes sense to you. Okay, so we have here polish your communication skills, cell phone. Okay, so if any of you resonate with the message of you kind of felt that at some point, or maybe even currently, depending on where you're at with this person, that their communication towards you kind of sucked. That could be a misconception because it feels like they were maybe dealing with other things that they were trying to move on and put, kind of. So the Five of Cups is at the bottom. So, healing, trying to move forward, trying to put some emotional trauma, I don't know, but some sort of, heavy emotions behind them at the time. So yeah, it just feels like they were, other reasons behind that. They could have been trying to like be more stable within themselves. So we also have give it to God, take a deep breath, and on the exhale, release the situation to God for healing and answers. So please only take this if it resonates. But for some of you here, you could have the misconception that they're kind of leaving their faith or their fate, should I say, their journey, their success, their goals, I don't know, in God's hands, in the universe's hands, and kind of just, let me see, is winging it the right word? Maybe winging it a little bit when it comes to certain things or certain people. That feels like a misconception because even though they have faith, but it also feels like they're kind of co-creating with the universe. It's like the magician. It's like, yeah, it's like, no, is it like the magician? I don't know. But it feels like, yeah, they have faith, but they also are trying to show that same faith in themselves, and kind of co-create with the universe or with God to come to some sort of, solution or, moving forward or, whatever it may be. So we also have here free will, get out of your cocoon. So some of you have the misconception that they don't want to get out of their shell. They don't want to get out of their cocoon. But this is not the case. Why is this not the case? It feels like they're being selective. Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Swords came out to clarify. So yeah, they could be like being more selective with who they communicate with, who they talk to. It feels like they're trying to embrace their free will a bit more. So yeah, it feels like they are coming out of their comfort zone, coming out of their shell. But at the same time, they want to avoid conflict. So the way they're doing this could be in a way where they avoid Five of Swords type of situation. So we have here impartial. So please only take this if it resonates. But for some of you here, you could be under the misconception that they are impartial. But this does feel like it's towards a person that is older than them. They could be, this could actually be the truth, but what? So it could be the truth that they feel impartial, but maybe the reasons for that are different than what you may feel. So let me, wait, hold on, I need to pause the video 1 second. So yeah, they could be impartial, but it feels like they may not have any, you know, real negative feelings towards this person. So we also have fearless. So for some of you here, you could have the misconception that they weren't or wasn't or aren't fearless when it comes to communication, maybe being honest, maybe being assertive. It feels like they are, but what? Maybe you just haven't seen this side of them yet. Maybe it's something that occurred, you know, depending on, you know, your relationship with this person, but it could have occurred maybe after you left this person's life or after there was some distance put between you and this person. We also have relaxed. One second. So some of you could be under the impression or have the misconception that they're relaxed or that they're too relaxed. And yeah, they could actually be quite relaxed, but it feels like, you know, with the Knight of Pentacles, that's still quite a chill energy. It's chill, consistent, but it's still going places, you know. So please only take that if it makes sense. And finally, we have cheeky. So some of you could be under the impression that they aren't cheeky, that they don't have a sense of humor. But they do. You know, Queen of Swords, even though she may not seem like she has a sense of humor, she actually does, you know. She's quite quirky, quite funny when she wants to be. So yeah, anyways, that is all I have for this group. I do hope it could resonate. I could hope it could make sense for someone. But yeah, I do wish you guys the best. Okay, please take care of yourselves. Bye. Hi, so the person on your mind, what misconceptions do you have about them? So we will start off with your tarot cards. So, okay. So we have Three of Cups upright. the Tower in reverse, and we also have the Emperor in reverse. So basically, there's a book on my chair, and one of my cats, they're like all black, and I literally can't see him. Like my chair's black as well, and he completely blends in. And I saw the book move in, and I was like, "What on earth is going on right now?" But then I realized he was just lying there. Anyways, sorry. So, what misconceptions do you have about them? Oh yeah, these groups are seeming kind of specific today, so please only take the messages if they resonate, okay? Okay. So yeah, you could have the misconception that they only want to be your friend. It feels like they want more than that, much more than that. It actually feels like they want something quite serious with you. But right now, it feels like they are trying to kind of build up the courage. It feels like they could be lacking in confidence. This could be in general, or it could be where you are concerned. It feels like you could have the misconception that they want to reunite with someone from their past. It feels like they don't, or do you agree they don't? Yeah, it feels like they don't. So yeah, you could also have the misconception that they have a lot of friends. The truth could be that they have maybe family friendships, or they mostly hang out with their family. But yeah, you could also have the misconception that they go out a lot. The truth is that they don't so much anymore. It feels like they're not really in the mood for it these days. For some, it's just maybe going out, Three of Cups, maybe partying, drinking, indulgence, all that stuff. Maybe they kind of feel like it's not really their bag anymore. Maybe it's not their idea of fun. Yeah, so you could think that they have a big social life, but it feels like it's more personal, or it's more family oriented. So yeah, you could also have the misconception that this person doesn't want to settle down, but it feels like they do. But just to the right one, I guess. You could also be under the misconception that they discuss you with a lot of people. It feels like they do talk about you to someone, but it feels like one person specifically as opposed to like a group of people or like a bunch of people. So yeah, you could also have the impression that they are emotional. It feels like they aren't too emotional. It feels like they are more balanced in terms of their emotions. So you could also feel like they are struggling, that they're unbalanced, but they're currently leaving something behind to find that balance again. And you could also kind of feel that they are stuck in their past in a way where it seems like they won't grow up, but it does look like they are growing. But it does feel like in ways that you maybe can't see. So you could also think that this person, they resist change, which could actually be true for some of you to a certain degree. It feels like they are just kind of slow about it when it comes to change. So you could also feel like they are delaying a connection with you or making something happen with you. It feels like you might be right, but the reasoning behind it is different than you think. but it feels like they care for you a lot actually and like you a lot. And for some of you, they want to be sure that they're making the right decision. So you could also have the misconception that this person is maybe passive aggressive. Um, they could do this, I don't know, not to be harsh. It could be a way to stand up for themselves or other people, a form of protection. So yeah, some of you here could also have the misconception that this person has a lack of discipline or loyalty, but it feels like they do. They do have a loyalty to certain people in their lives right now. It feels like you have to be really important for them to have a sense of loyalty to you. But yeah, they could be more disciplined than they seem. So you could also have the misconception that they are being controlled. For some of you, it could be that they are or will be easily influenced. And you could be right, you know, to a certain degree, but it feels like there's more to it. Like they could just be the type of person that's just not too fussed about it. But if they had a problem or wanted to change it, they would. So please only take this if it resonates. But for some of you, you could have the impression that they are bad parents. But again, it feels like there's more to it. So yeah, some of you here could think this person is really easygoing. Um, but for some of you, it could be that they lack confidence, you know, and maybe they don't feel too comfortable being assertive. You could also feel like this person, they lack stability. It could be that they are in a transitional period in their life. But it feels like they will find their footing very soon. They will find that stability, right? Hold on. It feels like they're working on it, working on finding balance, Two of Pentacles. So some of you here could also feel that this person would be irresponsible, but it feels like this person would step up. And you could also have the misconception that they don't want to talk to you or that they are secretive. But for some of you, it could be that they're shy. Wait, do you have more from these here cards? Okay. So we have here busy times and multitasking. Take charge of your schedule during this busy time and honestly assess your underlying reasons for being busy. So yeah, some of you here could have the misconception that this person is really busy. Maybe that they have a lot. Let me see. For some of you, it kind of feels like you think this person is busy with someone else. It does feel like it could be in reference to other people. Yeah, but it just doesn't feel like that's the case. It could feel like, yeah, this is definitely a perception that may not be true. They could be more so in hermit mode, clarified by the Queen of Swords. It feels like they're more so in a reserved energy more than anything else. But with the Ten of Pentacles coming out as well, they could be like just more so involved when it comes to family. So we also have childhood home, remember where you're from and who you really are. So yeah, some of you here could have the misconception that they're like stuck in their past, uh maybe, too clingy when it comes to family, or too attached to their family. But that doesn't actually feel like the case. It doesn't feel like it's unhealthy in any way. So some of you here, please only take this if it resonates, could be under the impression that they've changed, that they've forgotten who they are, maybe their roots, whatever that means. But it feels like this person has changed, but for the better. Like it was done to help them, as opposed to kind of, you know, as opposed to intentionally changing who this person is, or I don't know what the right word is, but yeah. Okay, so we also have union of love. So some of you could have the misconception that they're in a relationship, or they're in a connection with someone. So for some of you, I'm hearing that that could actually be true, but it doesn't feel serious. Please only take this if it resonates, but it feels like they only have this other person in their lives because they feel like they can't, or they don't have you. Okay. So, so Five of Swords, then Five of Wands came out. It feels like this person, whoever they're with, creates a lot of conflict for them. And then the Five of Pentacles came out. So that's a lot of fives. Maybe it's hard to move on, to change. Then the Devil card came out. So maybe this other person is quite, maybe they have like an unhealthy attachment to this other person, or this other person has an unhealthy attachment to them, which makes it hard to kind of, leave it behind, with that Tower card being there and the Emperor. And there was a message earlier about them being controlled or something like that. So yeah, it could be hard for them to leave that situation for whatever reason, especially if this person has children with this other person. But please only take that if it makes sense. It feels like this person feels really hopeful about you, though. It's like they're holding on to hope. They're feeling optimistic. No, they're not feeling too optimistic, but they are holding on to hope. Like they do care for you quite a bit. Like they adore you, they desire you, it feels like. But whatever situation, the Tower being in reverse, it feels like it's hard to get out of, you know? But it does feel like they're actively trying to leave that situation, though. But anyways, moving on from that. So we have here philosophical. So some of you could have the misconception that they are philosophical. Are they? No. So yeah, they may not be too philosophical. So what's the truth behind that message then? For some of you, they just kind of read a lot and they just pick up on stuff. But it's not them intentionally trying to be like philosophical, but yeah. So we also have perfectionist. You know what? Some of you could have the misconception that they are a bit of a perfectionist, and it feels like they are to a certain degree. Is there a but? Okay, what's the but then? But they're working on it. it feels like it's something that's hard to break out of. Knight of Pentacles, like it could like be ingrained in them in a certain way, but it does feel like they are trying to kind of leave that perfectionist mindset behind them. We have here imaginative. So this is coming out as you perceiving them as not being able to imagine a future with you. So please only take this group if it resonates, but it feels like they actually do imagine a future with you. And it kind of keeps them in this Four of Cups energy, but they still hold you like as the Six of Wands. They still kind of put you on that pedestal. But again, it feels like they're in that Four of Cups energy. The Five of Swords came out again. So yeah, they could be in a situation that's quite conflicting, or there's like the potential for conflict. So it's like hard for them to make changes. But it does feel like they're working on it. And we also have surprising. So yeah, some of you could have the misconception that they're maybe not surprising, and for some of you, you could have the misconception that they're maybe boring, not open to change. But it actually feels like the Knight of Wands, Three of Wands, they could actually be a bit more exciting, spontaneous, adventurous than you may be aware of. Okay. But yeah, that's all that's coming through for this group. So I really do hope this could be helpful to someone. I hope this could make sense, and I'm wishing you guys the best. All right, take care. Bye.